What's up, everybody? What's going on? Hope you're having a great Halloween. Today is Halloween, so I thought no better time than right now to put a video out talking about some of my favorite horror movies. This is part 2 of some of my favorite horror movies and horror movies that I think are good. Some aren't good, but I'll talk about that. And the ones that I say, or the horror movies I mention in this show, maybe you've never seen them and you can go check them out and watch them somewhere, wherever you get your movies from. Anyways, starting it off, I didn't forget, but I had a lot of other horror movies that I didn't include in my part 1 of my favorite horror movies. I'm going to start it off talking about this movie. It was made in the 70s. I don't know what year. I think 76, between 76 and 79. Anyways, it's called Alice, Sweet Alice. There's 2 kids in it. They're sisters. And then one of them starts basically becoming a murderer, wearing a mask, a pretty creepy looking mask, and then they start trying to murder people around them, well, anyways, I don't want to spoil it, so it's a good one. It's called Alice, Sweet Alice. Up next, I thought this horror movie and the series of movies sucked. It was called Hellraiser. And the main character was Pinhead. And I haven't seen a Hellraiser movie in probably over 20 years. And I don't plan on watching any Hellraiser movies because I think they fucking sucked. Hellraiser sucked. Pinhead sucked. The first one, Hellraiser 1, I guess. That's what it was called. I guess it was decent, but still, part 2 and 3 and 4, whatever other Hellraisers they made, in my opinion, the Hellraiser was the name of the movie. The series of Hellraiser movies fucking sucked, and they were lame. And Pinhead, that's what I think you're a dumbass character. Anyways, Hellraiser, I guess the first one is worth watching, but don't watch the sequels because they fucking suck. This one up next is called 30 Days of Night. The first one, they made a sequel, I think it's called 30 Days of a Night, Dark Days. It was pretty decent, but the first one, 30 Days of Night, the first one, it was really good. I enjoyed it. I recommend you check it out. Up next, I'm going to talk about this movie I believe was made in Canada. So it's a Canadian horror film, but it's pretty damn good. It's called Ginger Snaps. It came out in the year 2000. And then they did a sequel. It was called Ginger Snaps Part 2 Unleashed. But in my opinion, Ginger Snaps, the first one, was the best. These 2 sisters were in it. They were the main characters, and one of them was bitten by a werewolf type animal, or I'm pretty sure it was a werewolf. Anyways, it's pretty damn entertaining. It's called Ginger Snaps, and Ginger Snaps Unleashed came out in 2002 or 2003. The first Ginger Snaps came out in 2000. Up next, I'm going to talk about the original Night of the Living Dead. A very innovative movie for its time. I believe it came out in the 60s. It was very innovative. Great idea. Having zombies basically take over a town and trying to break in the house, and then they live on eating other people or eating their brains. Great idea. Pretty entertaining movie, but the first one, because it was done in the 60s, it was kind of boring to me. But it's still a great horror movie. And Night of the Living Dead, they did a couple sequels in the 80s. Those weren't very good, but whatever. I guess Night of the Living Dead is still a series of movies because they did a sequel. And then in 1985, same director that did Night of the Living Dead, George A. Romero, I believe his name is. In 1985, he came out with Day of the Dead. It's also a pretty good horror movie, and a lot of zombies in it. 1985, I believe this came out. It was called The Return of the Living Dead. In my opinion, it kind of was a horror movie, but nothing about it is really scary at all. Return of the Living Dead, in my opinion, is a comedy. It's a comedy and a horror movie, I guess. So, but they're put together, a lot of great scenes, and just great stuff happens. And The Return of the Living Dead came out in 85. Check it out. One of my favorite horror movies. But it's a comedy, so it'll make you laugh also. Up next was another good one. Came out in the 70s. It was called Carrie. If you never heard of it, shame on you. Then you're not a horror movie fan. Carrie, the original Carrie, was pretty damn good. They did a remake of Carrie, and I've never seen it. Maybe I will someday, but I was not interested in seeing the remake of Carrie because it probably sucked. As I said in my first part 1 video of my favorite horror movies, I thought the Evil Dead remake was better than the original. I still stand by that, and I still believe that. I enjoyed the Evil Dead remake more than the original, even though the original was pretty damn good and pretty scary. Now I'm going to talk about, as I said, if you've never seen the original Carrie, check it out. Now I'm going to talk about the what the hell is the name of that movie? The Exorcism. I think that's the name. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong. Exorcism. What? I can't fucking say it. I don't know why. Anyways, that's a great one also. It's a great horror movie. Now I'm going to talk about the Saw movies. It came out with Saw 1, and then it became a series, and they fucking overdid it and killed the series, in my opinion, and overdid it and killed the Saw series. Anyways, they came out with Saw 1, then 2, then 3. I think they came out with 4 and 5 and 6. And I believe they stopped at Saw 7. Either Saw 7 or 6. It was enough already. Nobody gave a fuck. At least I didn't. I saw Saw 3. And I think I saw Saw 4. After that, I was done. I was finished with the series. I was tired of the movies. They were boring as hell to me. So I never saw another Saw movie after Part 4, I believe. Saw 1 was good. The original was pretty good and entertaining and pretty scary. Saw 2 was also pretty decent, and I enjoyed it. Saw 3 was also decent, which I saw in the theaters. I don't remember what happened in Saw 4 or 5 or 6 or 7, whatever, or 8 or 9, however many fucking Saw movies they came out with. I didn't care anymore, and I didn't see the ones that were towards the very end of this series. They had that little character, I don't know what the hell his name was, I forgot. Some little character riding on a bicycle. That was pretty stupid. Whatever. The Saw series was pretty good. But after Saw 2, I could have been done with the series, and they shouldn't have made any more movies after Saw 2 or 3. And the stuff they came up with, how to kill people and torture them, that was pretty fucking insane. The ways they came up with killing people in the Saw movies. It was pretty insane, and by Part 4 and 5, it got old and boring and tired, and nobody gave a fuck. If you cut off every person's body part and ate it, nobody cared anymore. Saw did it all. They went to the extreme in their movies, and they killed people every way possible. There's nothing else left to do. So that's why the Saw series pretty much sucked after part 3 or 4, whatever it was. I don't remember if I even saw Saw 4, but I think I did. Now I'm going to talk about the Leprechaun movies. They were a series of movies. I believe they came out with 4 of them, maybe 5 of them. Leprechaun, the original, was pretty good. It was entertaining. It wasn't great, but it was good. Jennifer Aniston was actually in the first Leprechaun. That's pretty insane. Leprechaun Part 2, I don't remember much of it at all. I know I saw it, but I don't remember it. And I don't remember if it was any good. Probably wasn't. Leprechaun 3, where they were, Leprechaun went to Las Vegas. It wasn't that good at all. Leprechaun 4, I did see, and it was on TV like a week ago on AMC. I watched a little bit of it. I don't know why I watched it, but I fucking sat down and watched it for about an hour. It was Leprechaun 4, Leprechaun in Space. It was ridiculous. The idea was stupid. The concept was stupid. And the movie was pretty damn stupid. I probably watched it for an hour because there was a hot blonde in it. Anyways, Leprechaun 4 in Space was ridiculous and should have never been made. I don't know how that money made any I don't know how Leprechaun 4 in Space made any fucking money in the theaters because it was pretty god-awful. Leprechaun 5, I believe is called Leprechaun in the Hood. I think it's part 5. Leprechaun in the Hood. That was god-awful. It was shit. It was embarrassing to watch it. It was just... I did watch Leprechaun 5 in the Hood with a couple friends, and we just basically watched it and got bored and then goofed on it. The entire rest of the movie, we made fun of it and laughed. I think they even came out with the Leprechaun 6. I don't really know, but they probably did. Anyways, Leprechaun 5 was released on DVD only because it wouldn't have made a dime in the theaters. So the Leprechaun series... the first and second one were pretty decent, but the rest pretty much sucked. Don't waste your time watching them. Now I'm going to talk about a pretty damn entertaining movie John Carpenter did. After Halloween. I believe it came out in 1980 or 81. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it came out in 83. I don't really know, but it was called The Thing. It was pretty damn great. Check it out. And now the last movie I'm going to talk about, it's not really considered a horror movie, but there are ghosts in it, so I'm going to just add it to my favorite horror movies. I'm pretty sure it's a comedy movie. It's under the category of comedy, but still, whatever. It is one of my favorite movies of all time. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Ghostbusters. Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters. The theme song for Ghostbusters. That theme. When there's something strange in the neighborhood. Who You Gonna Call? Ghostbusters. That theme was awesome. Damn good song if you listen to it. So that song in the movie really helped the movie, I'm sure, explode and do big numbers in the theater. In Ghostbusters, the minute it came out, it had kids hooked immediately. I was a kid. I was about... when it came out, I think I was 2 years old. I think it came out in 85, I think. Or 84, maybe. I'm not a Ghostbusters expert, but I am a big fan of the movies. So it came out in 85 or 84. I was either 1.5 or 2 years old. Then they came out with Ghostbusters Part 2, I believe in 1990 or 89. It wasn't that great, but it was still pretty decent and entertaining. But Ghostbusters 1 is one of my favorite movies of all time to watch. When I was 4 and 5 years old, I used to rent it from the video store back in the 80s, because there were no way really to get new movies that from you couldn't get them on Netflix or stuff like that, so I'd rent them. So I probably rented and watched Ghostbusters as a kid probably 30 times or more. I was obsessed with it. For some reason, I just was obsessed with it. I loved it. I loved the entire movie, and as an adult, it's still great. I still love the movie. I'm still obsessed with Ghostbusters. It's awesome. And next year, or 2016, they're releasing the all-female cast of Ghostbusters. Kristen Wiig's in it. Kate McKinnon from Saturday Night Live. Leslie Jones from Saturday Night Live. And Michelle McCarthy from whatever she does. She's an actress. She's not in Saturday Night Live. She's not part of the Saturday Night Live cast. Is Melissa McCarthy, but she's hosted many times. So, and Kristen Wiig, also former Saturday Night Live cast member. I love Kristen Wiig and Kate McKinnon. They are super talented and great. Anyways, I'm looking forward to the all-female Ghostbusters movie. It should be good, and hopefully it's really funny, and I'm sure it will be. I think Dan Aykroyd is appearing in some of the movie next year, and I believe Bill Murray is going to appear in it for a small part. I don't remember really, but I think I heard that. So anyways, if you haven't seen Ghostbusters, and you're over 20 years old or over 30, you better climb out from under the rock you're living under, because everybody knows Ghostbusters and everybody has seen that movie. It's a classic, and it's one of the greatest movies of all time ever made, in my opinion. The writers came up with that story to come up with Ghostbusters and the concept, and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, Dan Aykroyd, and Harold Ramis. They came up with the story and wrote the movie Ghostbusters. They're geniuses to come up with that idea. And Bill Murray, I don't think he wrote any other movie, but Bill Murray was great in it. He was funny as hell in it. The other people are great in it. Sigourney Weaver was great. Rick Moranis was great as a Keymaster. So I could go on and talk for hours about how great Ghostbusters is. If you haven't seen it, get it and watch it. The original Ghostbusters is epic. This ends my part 2 of my favorite horror movies. As I said, Ghostbusters is not really a horror movie, it's more of a comedy. But whatever, there's ghosts in it, and it's Halloween, so I added it to my list of favorite horror movies. Hope you enjoyed this video, part 2 of my favorite horror movies. Have a happy Halloween for 2015. Happy Halloween, everybody, and have a great weekend, and don't eat too much goddamn candy, because you'll get a bad stomach ache. Bye for now.